Hi class, welcome again to another session on biomaterials. So today we shall discuss synthetic polymers in our as the next topic in our third unit, which is polymeric implant materials. So synthetic polymers have a major advantage over natural polymers, and that is their ability to tailor make them for a particular application. Also, they do not trigger any immunogenic response. They are very biocompatible. So they are broadly classified into biodegradable and bio-non-degradable polymers. So choice of polymer depends upon the site of implantation and the purpose of use, of course. So if you are choosing a polymer that has to replace the heart valve, then you would want to use a biodegradable one, right? Because a biodegradable heart valve is just madness. So you have to have something that is very stable and that is gonna perform the function of a natural heart valve for the rest of the rest of the life of the person. So non-biodegradable biopolymers are PMMA, which is polymethyl methacrylate. Then you have PE, which is polyethylene, and then PET, which is polyethylene terephthalate. Also, biodegradable polymers are PLA, which is polylactic acid, PGA, which is polyglycolic acid, and then PLGA, which is polylactic glycolic acid. So let us start with PMMA, which is the first non-biodegradable polymer that we had listed at. So they are synthesized using addition polymerization, because it's said free radical polymerization, and we saw in addition polymerization that you require free radicals to kick off the start of polymerization. So methyl methacrylate is your monomer, and then you use this monomer as for addition polymerization to form PMMA. It is very inert, it doesn't react at all, and then it is non-biodegradable, then biocompatible, and one of the hardest polymers available. Now you might argue saying that non-biodegradable is bad because it's not very environment friendly and so on. However, if you have something that is very hard and it's non-degradable, then you can use that as bone cement, which is exactly one of the applications for PMMA. So before going into applications, let us just study the mechanical properties. Now the hardness of PMMA is around 60 to 97 megapascals. Tensile strength is around 55 to 85 megapascals. Tensile modulus is 2.2 to 3.8 gigapascals, which is very high. Compressive strength is around 100 to 117 megapascals, and thermal properties include melting temperature, which is 130 degrees centigrade, and glass transition, which is 105 degrees centigrade. Now the processing methods for PMMA are injection molding, extrusion, thermoforming, bending, joining, and casting. You can use any of these methods to process PMMA. And applications, like I said, it's used as bone cements for fixating joints and bone defects. And then also earlier they used to have hard contact lenses, which is manufactured using PMMA. Now we have the more squidgy, comfortable, soft lenses, but hard contact lenses were manufactured using PMMA. Also, truck delivery systems often use PMMA for manufacturing because of its high durability. The next one is polyethylene. So it is a vinyl polymer that is synthesized through addition polymerization process. It is biocompatible, bioinert, non-biodegradable, and high strength polymer. It's got very good strength. Then its mechanical property, it has a hardness of 50 to 66, tensile strength between 16 and 31 megapascals, lesser than PMMA, but still quite strong in it. Tensile modulus is 0.18 to 1.6 gigapascals, and then compressive strength is 4 to 25 megapascals. So you have the melting temperature, which is the thermal property, which is 110 degrees centigrade, and then the glass transition temperature is minus 78 degrees centigrade. So polyethylene is of three types, major types. So you have the low density PE, that is LDPE, high density polyethylene, that is HDPE, and ultra high molecular weight polyethylene, which is UHMWPE. Quite an acronym, isn't it? So UHMWPE, or the ultra high molecular weight polyethylene, is widely used in biomedical application as it has superior strength, or superior toughness and good wear resistance. So applications of polyethylene or orthopedic load-bearing joints, probably to replace the tendon and the ligament, and also used in cochlear implants. So the next one is PET, which is polyethylene terephthalate, which is the last polymer that we are going to see in bio-non-degradable polymers. So these are thermoplastic manufactured using condensation polymerization. The other two are addition polymerization. This one is condensation polymerization. The monomer is ethylene glycol and terephthalic acid or dimethyl terephthalate. So it is biocompatible, biostable, hydrophobic, that is, it does not like the presence of water, and then it is a high strength polymer. So the hardness is 110 megapascal for it, tensile strength is 50 to 60 megapascals, tensile modulus is 2.8 to 3.1 gigapascals, and compressive strength is around 90 megapascals. And the thermal properties of PET include melting temperature of 250 degrees centigrade, which is very, very high, and glass transition temperature of 76 degrees centigrade. So Dracon is the first commercially available PET that was made available in the market by a company called as DuPont. And depending on the manufacturing process, it exists in amorphous crystalline or semi-crystalline structure. So depending on what is the manufacturing process that has been used, so it can have either of these three structures, and it is widely used in cardiovascular implants for making artificial blood vessels and surgical mesh. So this surgical mesh can be used for to operate for hernia and so on. So that's all I have for this session on synthetic polymers that are not biodegradable. I shall see you again in another session where we shall discuss biodegradable synthetic polymers. Thank you very much for joining me.